Hello up there. It's Brad J. Lamb.
You too can become a condo millionaire.
The Todd Shapiro Show. Canada Laughs. SiriusXM 168.
Brad J. Lamb from Brad J. Lamb Realty, TorontoCondos.com. That's the nicest suit I've seen you wear so far. Right there. That's my favorite one. It's light. It's light. I like that color on you.
It's a summery suit.
It's a summery suit. How are things?
Good.
Yeah.
Right. We on the air now?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're on.
Sure.
We're real chill. We haven't been on. We were on vacation last week, so we forgot.
Oh.
We kind of forgot how to do this.
Where'd you go?
Up north, we have a family cottage.
Oh, do you?
Yes, Lake of Bays.
Oh, wow. It's nice.
Really beautiful, except the problem is I got in a little bit of a fight with my brother because my brother wants to have it certain weeks and I don't want to give it up on certain weeks. It's a family cottage. I just thought people should go up there. So I want to buy land up north. I don't know if I can afford it. How do we do that? How do we make this happen? Because I don't want rules.
Yeah. Lake of Bays is a fairly expensive lake. If you go north and east, you can do
Kawarthas.
better. Yeah. You want to build something or buy something existing?
I think I would build, and I think I would build it in a way. This is my plan. You're a good guy. I'm glad you're here. This is my thought. See if I could. I mean, I would have to see if I could afford this. But what I would do is I would take a line of credit out of my home, and I would use that, and I would build. And I would build it to be able to have a certain amount of weeks, but then rent it other weeks. And I would build something really funky, cool, and modern, something that's kind of different up north that would get the city folk there, and especially guys I would know, be like, hey, you should rent my cottage for a week, whatever. And then I think that could cover the costs and the interest. And then over time, that would increase in value.
Yeah, well, for sure the styling is the right way to go because I actually rented a cottage maybe 3 or 4 years ago for my ex-family.
Okay.
In-laws and such. It was on Lake Muskoka or Roseau or one of the,
Sure.
of those fancies at Joseph. And it was a kind of a shitty cottage.
Ah.
It was probably worth $2.5 million or something like that, $3 million. But it was a shitty cottage. It really needed a lot of work. Like, it looked great in the photographs, but in real life, it was a mosquito nest. It wasn't great. And the thing is, it wasn't stylish, and there's a big need up there for modern, contemporary stylings in cottage.
I took a screenshot. Tell me if you like this look. I don't know if this is the best radio. I have all these crazy dreams. It's because you come on the show once a week. I'm 43. I swear to God, you're my influence. You're my mentor now. And don't take this the wrong way. It's like, why not act on something? Why not take a chance? I'll take a line of credit on the home, make an investment. If I just sit on whatever, it's not going to ever grow for me. So why not take a chance with these things? And I have this wicked plan in my head, Brad. I'm going to show you a screenshot I took.
You're never going to lose money on fresh water, my friend.
I agree. And even though I don't think I can afford it, I'm like, you know what? I'll make it work because I'll work harder. That's what you said. Yeah. I'll figure out a way to pay it off. I got to show you a screenshot. Tell me. I think this would be. I want to show it to Jay Brody too. And it wouldn't even be a big cottage, but I would separate the master bedroom because that's what's desirable, I think, for people like that, ones who can afford it to really get away.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, this is probably terrible that I'm just scrolling through my phone right now while we're on radio. How's the real estate business while I look for this?
It's always good. It's a very frustrating business, I got to tell you.
Oh?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's like in every city has its challenge. This particular city... I think that the planning department is broken and doesn't function. And I'll give you an example. So I have a project that I launched about a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago, and we applied. We had a date for the OMB. The city and I don't agree in terms of what I want to see there. They want to see there. This is a property downtown on Richmond Street. It's actually called the James. It's just called James.
Cool.
It's so cool it doesn't have a the attached to it.
James. We know.
Doesn't need it. It's James.
Yeah, like Madonna.
Yeah,
Beyonce.
exactly. Anyway, so July we were supposed to have an OMB date with the city showing up.
What's OMB for those who listen?
Ontario? Okay, it's called the Ontario Municipal Board, and there used to be about 35 members. These are board members who sit and rule in fights pertaining to real estate. So, if you want to build a house and your neighbor says no, and they object to let's say a committee of adjustment affair in the city, then it gets to the ultimate real estate court, which is the OMB, and it's fought out there with lawyers, and sometimes people just go themselves and do it, but generally it's best to hire a lawyer. We hire lawyers. And so we had a date. It was this July, We'd waited about a year and a half to get there. Why? Because there were 35 members. There's now 15 and rumored to be 10 people. So it's gone from 35 people that sit in these tribunals, individual guy ruling, to down to 15 and now rumored to 10 here in September, October, which means that it takes much longer to get in front of a guy because how many, these people are overworked as it is.
Sure.
Why? Well, because the current premier hasn't named new people. Why? I don't know. That's the question for her. But what it meant for me is this project should have seen an OMB day within 6 months of application. It took about a year and 2 months. And then when we went to go, 10 days before the hearing, the city came out and said, you know what? We have a couple additional witnesses we want to add to the docket. And your 4-day hearing is not going to be enough, so we now need a 7-day hearing. So we have a choice. You could do 4 days and then 3 later, which is a very bad idea because you're breaking up the hearing so the chair will forget what they heard.
So you reiterate all the stuff anyway later.
Well, you can't reiterate because then you run out of time. So you can't. You basically split it in 4 days and 3. And so the chair 6 months later, the guy's not going to remember or the woman's not going to remember exactly what they heard in your favor or against your favor on that first date. So it's a bad idea. So we had to go back and get another set. We had to get a 7-day date. So we were supposed to be this July. Guess what the date's pushed back to now?
Flying cars will be made by then.
Pretty close. Next June.
And now you're just sitting on a property that you can't necessarily do what you want to do with it, so that delays everything.
Yeah, and we wonder, and then we wonder why real estate's expensive in the city of Toronto. Well, all our costs pertaining to this get put into the prices, man.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right? So, so these delays, which are terrible, this is just one example of many I could give you, are terrible, and they're very costly to buyers, and they also cost the City of Toronto, because the City of Toronto would normally be getting $1 million a year in property taxes from this building alone. It'd be going up from $25,000, the current property, knocked down condo, to $1 million. So the city would be getting $1 million.
Wow, is that what? Yeah, I would never thought of
insane.
tax. It's insane.
40 time increase is what we generally do. Not only that, the city would also get the land transfer taxes, right?
Yes, for all the moves.
Which is 125 $5,000 checks. That's $700,000 plus to the City of Toronto for a one-time land transfer tax fee. That's nice money. And then they also get all the building permit fees, which is millions and millions and millions. And the province would get HST.
I don't know. This stuff drives me nuts. It's why
It drives you nuts?
It's why I'm leaning left and left and left the older I get. Right and right and right the older I get. The wrong way. I'm leaning so right because if you look at it on a business level, it would be like, let's hire more people at the OMB as an investment to settle these things at least so we can get forward with building because more money is going to come in that way. It can even help fund
not
this
even hire
kind of
more,
stuff.
just replace them. Replace them, right? And the other issue is that there's lots of jobs tied to my business. I employ thousands of people across the country, thousands of guys laying brick and putting in windows and engineers and architects and guys running excavators. We're talking $500-600 million a year of lost income from these delays. For us, if a project's delayed a year, that's how much money
You're gonna have to become a politician one day.
I already am a politician.
Well,
I'm a sales guy.
Yeah, No, you're more. You speak the truth, man. You got to be a politician who speaks the truth.
Do those exist?
There's one, but now they're calling him a dictator. So who knows? And Donald Trump. We're going through some notes here, and Chinese investors have spent over $1.3 billion on commercial real estate in the first 6 months of 2016, compared to $309 million last year. Brad, why is this happening?
Well, Chinese people like Canada. Actually, you know what? I want to go back because you said something about left and right. And by the way, I just want to make sure everyone understands it. That issue with the OMB is not a left or right issue.
Okay.
It's just, I don't really know all the reasons why Catherine Wynn's not replacing those chairs. I'm sure she has her reasons, but they're bad, and she needs to change her tact. But it's not a left or right issue. It really isn't. It's just, because actually labor is being hurt more than anybody by that decision.
How does this work in other sort of smaller areas in Ontario? And we'll get back to the
the OMB, it really only comes up in contested situations, right? And I think the mayor of Parry Sound would be thrilled if I said I want to build a 40-story high-rise downtown. Well, maybe not Parry Sound, but Thunder Bay. They would love that, I think. So I think that Toronto, we have had it so good for so long. There's so many people that have an opinion and a either a like or dislike for our condominium industry that it's probably filtered down to or up to the political people in the provincial area, and they're trying to balance votes and commerce, I guess. It's
is
a bad
it easy
idea.
for you? And I mean, obviously, reputation's at stake, and you have your entire business and all the businesses that facilitate from Rad JLM Realty. Is it hard for you not to really lose your cool? Because I would punch holes in walls. Like Jay, when you used to build stuff and get mad, you'd damage a lot of things, right?
I one time put my fist through a countertop. Marble. I smashed the end off of it. And I was like, oh my God, now I have to blame this on another trade. And I did, and we backcharged him. It was okay.
The guy's Superman here.
Yeah, he's
smashing marble with
But
his
how do you remain calm? Because I wouldn't be able to.
Well, you know what? In my earlier days, I was a bit of a wild man. And I'm talking in my 20s and early 30s, and you just have to change if you want people to listen to you. Right?
Okay.
You have to be
Go at their pace.
You have to be logical and educated and calm and have a good argument, right? That's really how things get done.
Okay. Ultimately, you win that way, and they should have just listened to expedite the process at the beginning. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, you hope. Anyway, the Chinese question.
Okay.
So the deal is that it's actually not that much. It's $1.3 billion, I think, is the number.
Yeah.
And there was a project that changed hands in Toronto. It was called King Blue. And Mervish started it, and then he sold it to a local Canadian development company. It was a partnership, and then they sold it to a Chinese company, Chinese National Development Company. They're a Fortune 500 company worldwide, but they're really controlled by the Chinese government. And they paid $160 million for it, just the land. So you think about it, that's just, and then I know that a big portfolio of real estate sold in Vancouver for $500 or $600 million to a Chinese group. So those two deals alone
are about
$800 million. So it sounds like a massive number, but there's like trillions of dollars of real estate in this country. It's not really a big number commercially.
And what would that mean down the road? I mean, it would just development jobs thing. I mean, does it matter where that money comes from?
Well, it does in a sense that, in the 70s, the Germans were a big buyer here. They bought a lot of apartment portfolios and malls and things. But at that time, Germany was a more or less trusted ally of North America. We didn't worry about the dealings in Germany. Today, what's going on in China is a little worrisome. I mean, it's a dictatorship of a Politburo, and the people that profit largely in China are associated politically in some way, the ones that truly profit. And if they cross swords with the people that run the nation, they end up in trouble, right? So the problem is that they're generating money through a dictatorship, and then they're moving that money to a democracy. And I think that I have a problem with that. I actually have a problem with that, but I'm not sure. Everyone wants to participate with Chinese trade. Everyone does. Every country in the world's clamoring to do business with the Chinese. I don't know how you stop that. You can't invest in China and not have them invest in Canada. It's a two-way street. So I don't have the solutions, but it's certainly a bit of a concern.
Is the ultimate benefit, at least, so that money is continuing to be invested in this country?
Yeah, so let me be clear about that. I have a problem with the individual Chinese investor buying real estate in Canada, like houses or things like that. I'm talking about state organizations.
Yes.
That are controlled by the government, because real estate's an important part of our industries here. And if their government is controlling a large part of our national fabric, real estate, then, if we got into a conflict with China in some way, what would that mean? What would that look like?
They could build, a mini base on their land.
Well, I don't know what they do, but it wouldn't be that.
It wouldn't be that. Downtown here in Toronto, the downtown core, where we broadcast from, to all of Canada, the biggest city in Canada, of course. Condo listings for sale are down 31% year over year, and rental listings are down, from what I understand, 37% year over year. Why is this happening? What does this mean?
Well, it's interesting because even today, when you open up the newspaper or you listen to radio or television or any media source, you hear people talk about real estate prices falling. Not going to happen. When the inventory of rentals is down 37%, we're not talking 5% or 4%. This is a massive number. It's almost half, right? It's close to half. That means rental prices are going up, and it means that people who are hoping to rent a one bedroom on their own or a studio means they're going to have to move in with someone else. That's the reality of the young reality or the choice of young people today in Toronto. With respect to sales, it also means if the inventory of available products down by 31%, it also means that there's more buyers for inventory, and that will drive prices higher too. And this is all condos we're talking about. It's not single-family homes.
Condos.
It's all condos. So it means higher prices. That's what it means.
Is this part of the reason that you always think you should be able to build taller and more units in each building because it might help this stuff, which will at least keep prices somewhat affordable for people?
Yeah, I don't want people to think that I see this infinite stories, like hundreds of stories.
900 stories high. We're going to the moon with
shadow the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just think that.
Why does that matter though? Shadow the world. Like, why would that even matter? Sorry,
well, human beings everything needs sun to live. It's part of the essential things that we live on, right?
Okay.
So we need sun, and I think that people just, even if we didn't need sun as a chemical, the vitamin D that we get from sun to live, we would still need sun to be happy. I think. So I'm not suggesting that. I'm just suggesting that the stupidity comes when you're looking to build 18 stories in the city of Toronto, or some organization that's controlling this decision says no, it's got to be 17.
Hey, what are green roofs?
Green roofs are roofs that limit the amount of energy used by a building. They're often they start out by being green material, like fescue or grass is often used. Sometimes other plant materials. Marijuana might be one that people could use.
That would be a great green roof, hey, Brody?
Yeah,
once it becomes legal, it'll be marijuana roofs.
Yeah, and by that time it'll be James Man. That's going to be that's going to be your project, James Man. And is that like a mandatory thing with buildings? How does that work?
No, it's not mandatory.
Okay.
There's a green standard that the city is trying to get developers to do, which is a great thing, because the only way developers will do anything like that is through government forcing them to do it. It's just because today most people don't come in and ask about green standards. Like, buyers don't come in and say, hey man, what's the green stuff you're doing, because I want to be in a green building. Most buyers are driven by selfish need for low prices and the most value. That's really how most people make their decisions. Not everybody, but most people. And so the city mandates a green standard, so we work towards it. So it means like less windows, more solid walls, green roofs, water recycling systems, groundwater systems, things that preserve the scarce things in the environment is what green technology is all about, and green roofs are part of that.
Brad J. Lamb joins us, torontocondos.com. If you're looking to live in the Lamb standard, make sure you do so and contact any one of his realtors there. Tons of different development going on within Edmonton, Calgary, Ottawa, you name it. Get them across Canada. Do you guys do research and stuff on things like amenities and what people want now and what's important to have in a building? Like, how does, because ultimately it affects your maintenance fees, all that kind of stuff. So, how does that stuff work now, judging what you will put in a building?
It's for me, it's almost whimsical. I'm like, what would I like to see in a condo? Girls in bikinis.
Yeah.
Outdoor pools. Gonna do that.
All right.
No, you know what? What I found, what I found when I traveled the world and looked at how people want to live and what people like, I found, for instance, indoor pools to be somewhat gross, and people weren't using them, and they're very expensive. That what I did find is whenever I went to a hotel, the most popular amenity in the summertime was the outdoor pool. Mm-hmm. So I thought, man, we got to put outdoor pools in buildings and make them like hotel pools. So we started doing that maybe 10 years ago. And now any building I possibly can, I put an outdoor pool in, because I think that condos are getting smaller and smaller, and I think people need to get out of their unit and get out and socialize. And so why not socialize in the building, meet people, meet your neighbors, have some fun. So I like outdoor pools. But we do ask buyers what they like. And really what it is they like security. 24-hour security is a big one, but it's very, very expensive to provide. It probably adds about 15 cents a square foot to a condo fee.
Wow.
Single biggest thing. They do want outdoor pools. They want excellent health facilities. So places to work out and avoid going to a gym. So the complete package with that. That's hard to do because weights make noise. Dropping weights and so on. So, gyms are either on the highest floor or the second floor, but wherever they are, they reverberate through the building when muscle heads drop weights and don't lay them down properly.
They grunt.
Yeah.
And when they grunt, I never understood. Like, it's that loud. It's okay, anyway.
Also, things like we just did a building where we had a yoga room.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because yoga's obviously very
Do you do
popular.
yoga?
No.
Come on.
I'm not opposed to yoga.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it with 40 other people.
Okay.
I would get they call them yogis. Is that what they call those?
Yeah,
guys?
I think so.
I would get a yogi to come over to my place and give me some
A
yoga.
private yoga lesson.
Yeah, but I'm very limber. I stretch a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can you
Seriously, I
skateboard?
am.
Can you skateboard?
I've never skateboarded.
No.
But I mean, I can palm my hands on the ground.
Wow.
And I'm like long of leg, so that's a tough feat.
Yeah, you're what, he's 6'6", right?
6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
That's actually pretty impressive. When I knew you way in the day, did you have one of like the first, like your own personal one, but you're one of the first pools of a rooftop in like Toronto? Did you?
I did. Oh, you know what? I had the first condominium private rooftop pool. Yeah.
That's the coolest.
Yeah. And you know what? But
because you said a try. I remember, like that was the coolest.
And then it was like a virus. There's like 20 of them now.
Yep.
But there is a private pool in the Colonnade. You know the Colonnade on Bloor Street? Like sort of, it's not in Yorkville. It's like just south. It's on Bloor Street and on the south side. It's a big apartment building. There's a French brasserie. I won't say what its name is.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a private pool up there, but it's a rental building.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and that's a rock star apartment.
They
up
get
there.
some
It's
players.
very nice.
They
Yeah.
get
But my
some-
apartment was
That was money.
amazing.
It was. Did I ever tell you the story, Jay?
No.
So I lived under Brad. My size of my condo was the size of probably one of his washrooms.
Okay.
But I mean, for me it was amazing, and actually, like, one of my first investments, I did okay on it considering. But the elevator would stop on floor 7. Brad was on floor 8, and once in a while it would open up right onto his floor. So once in a while, like it would just like accident. Sometimes they got mixed up, that elevator,
Yeah.
and I'd look in. I'm like, oh my god!
It would just open up Brad's house, basically.
So I've swam in that pool many times. I've never told you. Brad J. Lamb Realty. Brad J. Lamb is hanging out with us. Before you go, Brad, I want to show you this cottage because I promised you I would pull it up. I want you to tell me if you think we could start building some cottages up there. Because I want to modernize cottage country.
No, I agree with you. That is the future of cottage. If you go to the States and look around, there's a lot of really cool modern homes in the country.
How cool would this look? And not even that big. I mean, this would be big. I was thinking I want to build something like that. How gorgeous is that?
Yeah, that's great. But that's probably a 3,000 square foot house.
I would shrink it all.
Yeah,
I'd make it 1,500 square feet with a big basement.
Yeah, you could lose the top floor.
Or I want a top floor because I want to get away from everybody. I don't like people. I want to look at trees and the lake and
You
just
don't like people. Huh?
No, yeah, I want to get away.
All right. Well, you could do the 2-story portion.
Okay,
that could work.
Thank you, Brad, for coming on as always.
The Todd Shapiro Show. Canada Laughs. SiriusXM 168. The Todd Shapiro Show.
All right, we really appreciate you watching that video. Make sure you check out some more videos. Why not? Let's get caught in the Shapiro Show vortex right here. Or you can subscribe to the channel right here and check out videos at any point because we're going to give you all the alerts. We do appreciate you being a part of our family. Most families hate each other, not ours. We love you.